What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's third exclusive segment from the greatest podcast on turf. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anthony.
And for this exclusive segment, we are going to be doing our weekly best bet series. Now, we started off hot, we fell off in the middle, but we're trying to bounce back. So be sure to check that. Tune in and listen. Also, be sure to check out our other content this week. On Tuesday, we did our full first round mock draft. We went into detail with every single pick. You guys have killed it. We love that video, so we appreciate it. Also, check out the podcast on Tuesday where we did a recap of what happened last week. Also, yesterday we did a podcast prediction series of what's going to happen this week, and we did our weekly stardom situms.
Yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new. Merry Christmas Eve, by the way. You guys are watching this video is coming out on Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas Eve from the greatest podcast on turf. Happy holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa. Happy holidays to all. Spread some greatest podcasts on turf cheer. If you need some last minute stocking stuffers, we have pens, we have stickers. They're on my book bag back there. We have pens and stickers. Hit us up on Instagram. We'll take care of you, just like our amazing sponsor will take care of you if you come into Little Italy, our sponsor, and say,
the greatest podcast on turf sent me. They will hook you up with a discount. So yeah, be sure to come in and check it out. 2 locations. One of those is in Middletown, the other one is in Townsend. It is a great family business. They're great people, great food, great prices. He can make you a cheesesteak if he's here,
Best
or
in the
his
world,
dad,
baby.
just as good. I argue better. Just saying. So yeah, be sure to come in and check it out. Like we said, let them know that the greatest podcast on turf sent you. They will take care of you. Show proof that you're subscribed. They will hook you up with an additional discount. Also, if you want, ask for a pen, and they will give you one happily. We have 1,000.
absolutely, literally 1,000. And I hate to be that guy after plugging Little Italy, but yesterday was... Check the link to the website for the schedule for holiday scheduling. Don't want to go into detail. Check the website link in the description. Best bets this week. Let's win some money. Ravens killed me last week. I almost won $200 on my parlay card of our best bets. We went 5-1. Baltimore killed us. Green Bay couldn't cover. So I'm starting this week. I'm riding the big point train. I'm riding the high point train. Big money. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles minus 9.5 points at home versus the Giants. The Giants have lost 4 of their last 5 games by 10 or more points, and the Eagles have been scoring a lot of points. So with that being said alone, I'm taking that. The Giants have, like I said, lost by 10 or more points in 4 of their last 5 games. The Eagles are on fire. I owe my brother $20 if the Eagles win the game this week, but I'm hoping that me taking the Eagles minus 9.5 points on my parlay card can help me win some of that money back. So yeah, the Eagles have been riding their high horse. I know you may think 9.5 points is a lot because it is in a division game, but it sounds like Jake Fromm is the starting quarterback, and if the Eagles can't beat a Jake Fromm-led Giants team by more than 10 points, the Eagles are as bad as I think, despite the 8 wins and maybe they're making the playoffs. I don't care. Eagles minus 9.5 points this week. Lock it in.
My first best bet this week, I am taking the Chargers minus 10 against Houston. Usually I don't do that. Usually I don't touch double-digit points. Usually I don't touch the spreads that are more than 7.5. But I like the Chargers this week over Houston. I know 10 points is a lot, but the Chargers' last 2 wins are by more than 10 points by a landslide. When the Chargers are playing against good teams, they don't really care about mercy. They pour it in. They don't really care. Houston is definitely not a good team. Granted, last week against Jacksonville, they played lights out, and they're figuring things out on offense, you could say. But I think the Chargers are a much better team. Personally, I kind of like the over in this game. I think it's in at 45.5 or so. So I would also argue the over. But I also like the Chargers beating Houston by more than 10. Houston has been known to lose by more than 10 points. Against Seattle, they lost by 20. Colts, they lost by 30. The Jets, they lost to the Jets by 7. If you lose to the Jets by 7, you can lose to the Chargers by 10. Lost to the Rams by 16. Cardinals, 26. Colts, 28. They lose. They're losers. They definitely don't lose close games, as I just mentioned in their last 10. A lot of those were by more than 10 points. So go ahead and bet the Chargers minus 10.
Yeah, and you're also going to bet the Lions plus 5.5 points this week at the Atlanta Falcons. The Lions are arguably the hottest team in football right now. They're 2-1 in their last 3 games. Amon-Ra St. Brown's killing it. Sounds like DeAndre Swift is back and healthy. They're going to come and put an ass whooping on the Atlanta Falcons this week. The Falcons aren't 5.5 points better than the Lions. They both suck. That's not saying much. But this could be a close game. In the Lions' past 2 wins, they've covered this 5.5 point spread both times easily, with a 30-12 win over the Falcons and a 29-27 win versus the Vikings. We're not going to talk about them getting blown out by the Broncos. But yeah, Detroit Lions plus 5.5. I just feel like it's too many points for 2 bad teams that are playing each other. For a Falcons team that is limiting their stud players' touches, Cordero Patterson's getting limited touches now, and he's their best player. So, I mean, with all that being said, the Lions are riding their high horse, making a late push, grabbing some last-minute wins of the season. They're going to win this game this week. If you want our full thoughts, check out yesterday's podcast. Lions plus 5.5 points. It's crazy. I know it's hard to take the Lions on any parlay card because when you have, they've probably lost. But I'm taking a gamble this week. You should too, because we've been on fire as of late. Lions plus 5.5 points. Lock it in. Take it.
Speaking of too many points for 2 bad football teams, I'm taking the Bears plus 6.5 at Seattle. The Bears, I don't think they're as bad as they are. I think Coach Matt Nagy sucks. I think the team is a pretty decent football team.
Yep.
The Bears are coming off of a short week. When did they play?
I think they play Saturday. Maybe no, they play
When did they play?
They just played on Monday night.
They played Monday night. They're coming off of a short week against Seattle. But Seattle's coming off of a shorter week because they played Tuesday night. Granted, it's in Seattle, so I wouldn't really dig that much into that. But it's too many points. I don't see Seattle being 6.5 points better than really anybody in football, especially not the Bears. I would take the Lions plus 6.5 against Seattle most likely. Seattle is they're out of playoffs basically. There's really no shot that they can make it. The team is deflated. Russell Wilson doesn't really want to be there. Him and DK have not been connecting at all, and it looks like it's a large part of that is Russell Wilson's fault, it seems as if. So yeah, the Seahawks, I just don't see them winning by 6.5 points. They don't really do that often. They did it against Houston. They did it against San Fran. But other than that, they haven't really done it except for their win against Jacksonville. Other than that, I see a whole bunch of losses. They're not that good of a football team. Russell Wilson isn't the Russell Wilson that we've seen before. I don't know if he's lost a step. I don't know if he just don't want to be there. I don't know. Personally, I would take the Chicago Bears plus 6.5 though.
I like that one. You gave a lot of valid reasoning for it because the Seahawks do fucking blow. And my final best bet, this is my favorite bet of the week and the safest one. I'm taking the Dolphins plus 3 points at the Saints. Like I said last week with the Bengals, when the better team is underdogs, take the points. The Dolphins are better than the Saints. It's not saying much. This is going to be a defensive low-scoring game. The Dolphins are going to cover this spread because they are the better team, and when the better team is getting points, you always take the points. You always take the better team. It worked last week with the Bengals. I'm riding my high horse with this one. Dolphins plus 3 points at the Saints. Lock it in. Take it. The Saints blow. The Saints are coming off a big win. I feel like the Dolphins are going to come out of this one, and I think the Dolphins are going to win. I think they're going to come out of this one, punch the Saints in the mouth a little bit on this one. They have a lot more going on offense. Their defenses are about the same. These two teams are fairly similar. You could say I feel like the Dolphins are a little bit better, well-rounded. They're better coached. So that being said, Dolphins being the better team, getting points, you got to take it, lock it in. Dolphins plus 3 points.
My final best bet this week, and he's not going to like it at all. Probably a lot of people won't like it, but it is the Vikings plus 3 at home against the Rams. The Vikings, they play with their opponent, and the Vikings, they play good against good teams. They beat the Green Bay Packers, they beat the Chargers, they beat Pittsburgh, that's really about it, but those are 3 pretty good football teams.
Yeah.
And they lost to teams like Detroit. They've lost to San Francisco. San Francisco is a decent football team, but plus 3 points I think is too many for a team being at home against a Rams team who, frankly, they don't beat teams that are above 500. They usually whoop up on lower-ranked teams. I mean, they beat the Cardinals with no DeAndre Hopkins. Or was DeAndre Hopkins? He played that game, but they still beat him. Whatever. They beat Houston, Detroit, Giants, Seattle, but they lost to Green Bay, San Francisco, and Tennessee. They don't win against teams that are above 500. The first one since week 4, I believe, was the Arizona Cardinals in a fluke game that I believe. But I think at home, when you got Kirk Cousins, I think he's going to be able to put things together enough to not lose by more than 3 points. I actually think they do sneak out of here with a win. I think Justin Jefferson, possibly Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook can do enough things to beat the Los Angeles Rams. Minnesota is still fighting for a playoff spot. They're 7-7. They're right on the edge of making the playoffs. They're right in that wild card hunt, wild card spot. So this is a must-win game for the Minnesota Vikings at home, and I think they do it.
Listen, everybody's entitled to an opinion no matter how you feel about it. That's just the fact of the matter. If you want to hear us argue about this game and Matt Stafford and all the usual bullshit that we argue about at the greatest podcast on turf, check out yesterday's podcast episode, linked in the description. After you like this video, subscribe if you're new, and check out yesterday's Stardom Sit-em video. And you check out Tuesday's mock draft that you guys absolutely killed. Merry Christmas Eve, Happy Holidays. Next week, like I said on yesterday's video, may be a little different style video because I'm going on vacation. But we'll see. We don't know how it's going to be yet. We'll see. We're going to bring you guys content next week, though, no matter if someone's in my spot for the week or whether we do it via Zoom or we just do separate videos and edit it together. We'll see about that. So happy holidays. Merry Christmas Eve from your boys at the greatest podcast on turf. 2022 is the year of the greatest podcast on turf. And do you have anything else to say to our supporters? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
See you.